All right, on this edition of the RSL Random Fan Podcast, Brandt and Tyler interview Andy Wolf. Who's Andy Wolf, you ask? You'll see. He's a really smart RSL fan, some random fan.
Yeah, he's a random RSL fan who did a great job sharing his thoughts on the team and all the things we can expect next season, right?
So many good stuffs.
And if you want to be a random fan, let us know. We'd love to have you on. All right, let's get started. Another episode, hopefully with sound.
Big sound.
With big quality sound.
Yeah, buddy.
I'm your host, Brandt Goebel, joined by
Tyler.
Brendan's excused for sniffles or something.
I did not want to get sick. What he went through was not good last week. So.
Yeah. So, he wasn't feeling it, was he?
Yeah.
So, we searched the world for exciting things to talk about, exciting episodes, exciting guests.
And far.
Near and far, all over the world.
Yes.
And we found ourselves where, Andy?
Indiana.
Terre Haute, Indiana.
Terre Haute, Indiana. Epicenter of soccer in Indiana, right?
At least RSL soccer.
It's close to St. Louis. That's kind of the epicenter of soccer in the country.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
just ask them. They'll tell you all about it.
Right before Seattle invented soccer, so St. Louis invented soccer. So Andy is an RSL fan, and I met him one time at a Colorado game last year. You and Andy and his brother, right?
That's right.
So we'd like to find out about RSL soccer fans and also how they became fans. So the first question,
random fans, right? I mean,
how did you become a soccer fan? And, are you a soccer fan? We don't want to assume anything.
I mean, you're on the podcast, so you better if, we want to make this interesting. So,
well, I'm a fan, kind of like Brandt, still trying to be a student of the game. But kind of got into it when my younger brother started playing soccer, and I grew up in Taylorsville, Kearns area, and so he started in rec soccer, quickly tore it up, and then joined a rec club with a bunch of kids not a rec club, competition club, the kids from West Valley, Kearns, Cypress, all that area. And,
West Side.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
So didn't want to throw any gang signs or anything.
No, I got to practice. I'm all out of practice.
Haven't used those for years.
Yeah. So anyway, they were rather good for not having the paid coaches or anything like that. And so with that higher level of soccer than disorganized chaos or rec ball, kind of got following him. I'm a couple years older, and so by the time I finished high school, he was playing at a fairly high level. I think several of the kids could have played college ball, but didn't end up doing so. And then about that time, RSL started in 2005. So found out about that, but I was already away for college. And so I was like, oh, hey, that'll be kind of neat to follow. Is this MLS thing going to work out? Because a couple teams had just contracted. Yeah, and then Chivas and RSL come along. So I was away in college in Missouri trying to follow from afar. And so wasn't as involved. And then fortunately got a job after grad school, moved back in 2009. Is that right? Yeah. And wasn't really able to go to many games, but always tried to watch RSL play when I could. So
nice. And what's your brother's name, just in case?
Oh, my brother Tony. I don't know. He'll want the link to this when we're done. But
nice. And what's your last name? I don't know if we caught that on the.
Wolf.
Oh, okay. Nice.
What's your brother's last name?
Wolf. Oh. Yeah, that's why he cheers for Tyler Wolf so much.
Yeah.
They're related.
Hey, he doesn't spell it the right way.
Oh, okay.
Awesome.
So
nice. Well, good.
So how did you become? So you talk about. Tell us the evolution of your RSL fandom. Were you always rabid, or how did that develop?
Probably just as it was harder to be a Jazz fan. I always tried to follow that, but without any other sports teams, it was a little easier to try and latch on. The games are easier to attend. It was nice to be outside and during some of the summer months and the games and stuff. So, and then I never had season tickets, but just tried to follow more of the comings and goings of the players. I kind of got interested in doing that, and everyone says the roster rules of MLS are a little archaic, but I don't think they're too hard to follow. It's just they don't release a lot of information. That's probably what makes it harder than anything to follow.
Right.
Always posting on Big Soccer was like, okay, how much money are they spending, or how, what kind of cap room do we think they have, or tracking the trades and roster slots, and kind of enjoyed that a little more than some of the seasons that RSL has had. So, but then moved away from Utah in 2016. I actually just got a notification on my phone about that. So, not living close, it's been almost more fun to go to the road games. So there's so many new stadiums out this way that it's nice to see the new ones. Cincinnati, Nashville, Chicago wasn't a nice one, but their new one will be.
Have you been to all those?
Yeah, I try to go to a couple games every year. I was looking at the new schedule and had a few in mind, but always try and go to the Kansas City and St. Louis ones. Those are some of the closest. So
what's that like? The only road game, and I'm almost embarrassed to admit, the only road game I've gone to for RSL was last year against the Rapids. My wife and I, for whatever reason, we are not big get out and go see stuff. We're happy to be home and spend some time together.
But also, it's not like in England where you can just drive to the next town and there's another team there that you would play. You know what I mean?
It's really frustrating because the longest away game pretty much anywhere in England is like 8 hours, 9 hours.
And that's the closest here.
That's the closest here. But what do you like about those other stadiums? What's it like to go to a Kansas City game? How do they treat RSL fans? Is that the rivalry kind of lowered the temperature there?
I don't get too much guff. Every game I go to, I see at least a handful of fans. Even the St. Louis game that I was at, the final game of the year, still saw a handful of RSL fans. And so, and then I think last year at Colorado, was that where Andy Larson, he tries to attend a few road games as well, because he's probably a bigger fan than most. So,
yeah, it was a nice big rainstorm that.
Yeah, but no, it's nice just to see the new stadiums, and I'll never understand why more of them aren't like the ones at Nashville that holds, I think, 30,000. I think if this game is growing in the U.S., these 20-ish thousand seat stadiums just don't cut it. And you see that you miss out on hosting a lot of national team or other tournament games when your stadiums are smaller. They move them to football stadiums and stuff. So not that they need to be 60,000 at this point, but
yeah.
Any favorite road games away games you've attended for Real Salt Lake?
Favorites? It's always nice when they win. My attendance record is much better than RSL's overall record if it was extrapolated. So I think it was last season. Yeah. Last season they played really well, but I think I can't remember if I went to 3 or 4 games, and I think they won all but one of them or something like that. So it was kind of a running theme that if I was attending, they were going to win.
We need to get you to more games.
I know. Right? Yeah, I got away to the San Diego game this year, and that was a lot of fun. That was very cool. The stadium was cool. I liked it. We got there so early. We wandered around and it was funny because I was there with my brothers and with the caricature person. They could tell we were obviously there for the other team. And so when they drew us, right, because they were giving that away as like just a fun thing for the kids. Well, so they exaggerated all our.
You cut in line from the kids.
They exaggerated all our worst traits. My forehead was like a mile long, and yeah. Anyway, it was pretty funny. She mocked us real good. So, but yeah, like going to the game and seeing RSL win in somebody else's house, that's pretty fun too, right?
To my
absolutely.
credit, not we had plans to go to a road game, and it wasn't our fault that Seattle got it canceled because
that's right.
we had we were gonna do a family road trip, and
They rescheduled on you.
they rescheduled on us, and it just didn't work. So that's my lame excuse.
I'll go with it for now.
So what about the stadiums and experiences there? You've been to RSL home games, right? At some point in your career.
Yeah.
Is it a different vibe? Is it what do you like about those other stadiums? What's the experience? Is it different than at the Riot?
See, I'm trying to remember the last one I went to because I will acknowledge the RSL had a few upgrades in the last year or so, right?
Yep.
So, but like the St. Louis ones in particular, they pack it for every stadium, even though they were worse than RSL, I think, the last 2 years. So, but the lights, the pyrotechnics seem to be just on a little bit higher level than what I've seen at RSL. But I'm trying to remember. I didn't make it to a home game last year. Maybe in 24, I went to one around 4th of July or something. But the fans get there early. That's a big difference.
Yeah,
from
we
RSL.
definitely don't do that. No. I mean, some people do in the parking lot, but they don't come in the stadium and start chanting early,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, there could be a lot of improvements there.
Sure.
What's the farthest you've gone?
Relative to Salt Lake, or the farthest I've gone personally would probably be Nashville. I think that's around 6 hours. Met another RSL fan there. He's pretty active on Twitter. So
Nice.
I know it's not Twitter anymore, but I refuse. So
The big X. We'll call it X. You can call it whatever you want.
I'm with you. I call it Twitter. I think X is just a dumb name. Anyway, what about other soccer teams? We'll talk about Real Salt Lake. Love to get your thoughts on the team, whether you're scared to share them or not. But what about other?
I just don't think we have time.
What about your other soccer? Are you a fan of other soccer teams? That's what I think.
I never really got into it. I know MLS is arguably fifth best league in the world, but never really got into any of the European or South American, Central American teams. Don't really follow any of it. But the one story I have, and we can talk about as much or little as you want, is the failed Pinzgau experiment. I don't know if you guys know about that and RSL's connections besides just players.
No, tell us.
So, well, you should get Trey on there because he was one of the founders. There was a guy not even from Utah. I think he lived in Utah, and he got this crazy idea to, hey, let's buy a European club. And so it was Trey, and I can't remember this guy's name. He wasn't involved all that long. And then they recruited a businessman out of Tennessee to start this. And I don't remember how much money they pooled versus what they raised. But they bought a third division Austrian team in the mountains of kind of western Austria. So It's kind of a regional hub, but the town is called Saalfelden. And they merged clubs in the past, and so that was called Pinzgau Saalfelden was the club. And I think they got lucky in that Christian Ziege, German footballer, was on the 90s World Cup teams. His wife was from there. And so they and it's a beautiful, picturesque place. So they bought there without realizing, I think, the implications of not being in a major city from marketing, attendance, all these other restrictions. I think it was a really good idea. But then they essentially stacked, and this is when Trey walked away from RSL or had a gap year or whatever. So he was living there doing a lot of stuff, and I don't know much about that part. But I guess he was able, and Craig Weibel was partially involved. At one point, they were going to try and get him to be the GM after he left RSL. Wow. And so that's how Pablo Ruiz and Andrew Brody were out there. And they were basically like the two best players in the league. And so nice. They ended up, so Zige was the coach. They were kicking butt. They play the now more familiar to RSL fans, the winter or summer fall, or what is actually the summer spring schedule, or what's it called in Europe? Is it fall spring?
Fall spring, yeah. Where they start in August and go through the winter.
Yeah, but in Austria they do a more of a split schedule where it's most of the games are in the fall, and then you have a couple games early spring, and then if you finish high enough, you do like a playoff promotion. And so they were first, and they were going to get promoted, and then the pandemic hit. And they had this roster built with a lot of expensive players. They were ready to get promoted to second division, which you get national money and TV exposure and all these other things. And then the pandemic hit, and it was kind of slowly downhill from there. They tried to expand with a women's team, and that just seemed to speed up the demise because they were importing a lot of American players. They were trying to give opportunities. A great idea. But so that all kind of floundered. I think it was last fall, when
classic
that all
pandemic destruction, right?
Yeah. So just about everyone lost their investment. But there was a guy that he's a chief executive or officer of Estee Lauder that got involved, and he went and bought a team in Northern Ireland. So it's Carrick Rangers, and they're in the Premier Division of Northern Ireland, and that's
Northern Ireland has their own league.
Yes, and it's probably on the.
But they probably have 40 awesome teams. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, and they're probably on the order of maybe a mid-level USL or something like that. But so he's trying to figure out a way for us to that bought into Pinzgau to transfer like a 10% of our shares into this Carrick Rangers.
So you were the money behind that whole effort, right?
I invested more than I care to admit, but I did get a trip to Austria out of it. So, yes.
So tell us about that. Did you went to the game and you got?
So you were an owner of a club for a while.
Yeah, they had some merchandise, and one of them I bought that says I'm part owner of a European soccer club, and all I got is this lousy T-shirt. Ended up being a little too true.
You didn't get a scarf out of it?
Oh, I have a signed Andrew Brody jersey. Okay. I have
it's not nothing.
I have a black gradient. I mean, they had some really cool jerseys. Family's sleeping, or I'd go grab it. But I was out there summer or May of 23 and got a jersey that they were all set to release for the club. And then something happened with the sponsor, and they weren't allowed to hand them out. So I've got this pretty killer jersey that nobody else has, basically.
You didn't get the whole box, though? We can't, distribute them and play indoor in those in the coming up season?
The guy on the ground, it was, I guess, selective of who he was handing them out to. So, I don't know.
Because, those indoor heroes, when they're still playing indoor soccer in their 30s and they still think they're the hero, right?
Yeah, it's like the guy that wears his high school jersey to the basketball game.
Exactly. It still fits.
Yeah.
It flex really hard. It still fits.
How big was the stadium? How big is the stadium over there?
This says 1,500.
It's one side. If you pull up the Pinzgau Saalfelden Stadium, I'm trying to remember what it's called.
I'm looking at the Wikipedia page. It says 1,500 capacity.
That sounds about right. They did bring in some temporary stadium seats because when they were winning the league, they had full capacity and they needed to expand it. So,
but then they bulldozed it after it fell apart or something.
No, because it's community owned.
Oh, okay.
So there was some pretty cool stuff out there. They actually ended up getting a partnership with like the equivalent of the state for the first academy in the region. So they doing some awesome stuff. It's just you have to be willing to lose tens of thousands of euros a year over there in the third division and hope you don't fall any lower.
Yeah.
So
what was the game like? How many games did you get to see? Just one or?
I do think I was able to get two in. I was out there for a work conference, and we did a longer trip where we ended up going down to Italy too. And so I think when we doubled back, we hit another weekend game. But no, it's fairly competitive. And that's the thing about, when promotion and relegation is out there, every game's a battle. So guys are playing for their livelihoods. The leading scorer was this, I think he was like 37 at the time, and he was like a plumber. And then they're like smoking after the game. But the guy was good. He could have played at a higher level, but he just wanted to do it for fun on the side.
No, I played against guys like that, in indoor when I was young and in my 20s. And, I thought I was something special. And then I'd go up against a guy like that who would just juke me and score. And I was like, geez, why didn't you go pro, bro?
They giving you the Arvidas a bonus?
And then they'd be like, shut up. And then they'd leave and smoking on the way out. And I'm like, oh, that's probably why. Yeah.
I don't know if you remember Arvidas Sabonis played
Sabonis.
Portland. Yeah. He was probably, if he'd have come earlier, he might have been one of the best players to ever play in the NBA.
Yeah.
But he would smoke in the locker room at halftime.
Dang.
So
his son's in the league still. So worked out for his next generation.
Nice.
Yeah.
So anyway.
FC Pinzgau, that's your favorite European club. You don't follow a Premier League team. You don't follow
just Salzburg. I mean, they're in the region of Salzburg. That's the state of Salzburg.
They are in the state of Salzburg. Yeah.
Thanks, Wikipedia.
Oh, you might see on the
just trying to keep up.
If you're on Google Maps, you go to the actual stadium. Some of the pictures, I keep getting notifications from Google that I'm like this top reviewer. So I took some pictures and posted it. So
nice.
We'll look for you and like it. Make sure we'll keep you up there. Yes, top reviewer.
Yep. Thumbs up for all that.
They do get top European clubs to visit over the summer and do training before the season starts. So it's an amazing place to visit, but it is. I see the restrictions in these smaller towns in Europe and trying to make it work at the professional level. So
it is a challenge, but it is the thing to do. Is for Americans to buy European soccer gloves. It's all the rage.
Yeah.
They probably just a little bit too soon, so they didn't do Welcome to Pinzgau.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
That would have been a great scenery. Yeah, it would have been a great TV show. So no real Premier League team. It's just RSL and your former investment.
Yeah, and even then, it's harder to follow when you really don't have any skin in the game anymore. So I have the app set up to where I get score notifications, but even then, they're mid-table. When I was following more closely, they were top 2, top 3. But last couple of years,
FC Ponzi scheme.
FC Ponzi scheme.
Yeah, well,
it has to be based out of Utah, though.
Oh yeah. It's not an official pyramid until it's been registered in the
a triangle with a flat bottom. It's not a pyramid.
Yeah, in the MLM area of Utah. That's the
yes. It works. Just get 3 of your friends to invest, and then 3 of their friends, and
steal money from your grandma. You're good.
Well, I mean, if she's not using it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, great story. That's really fascinating. I know we were talking to Trey one time. He says he still has a bunch of stuff in Austria. I think I remember saying that.
Yeah. We'll have to ask him for some to see some proof.
Yeah, we want one of those kits he's talking about.
Yeah, and then we could give one away on the
bootleg.
podcast.
Yeah,
That'd be
bootleg.
sweet.
Yeah.
Unofficial kit that never hit.
Ask Trey to hit up Dave Herman.
Okay.
We will.
There we go.
Dave Herman. Make a note of that.
Yep.
So, what about? Let's get to RSL. Well, first of all,
yeah. What took you from there to back to RSL?
I mean, I've always followed RSL. So being from Utah, just that was kind of latched on to that, and always try to follow it from afar, even though I can only attend maybe a couple games a year. So still enjoy watching, and always paid for season pass or league pass or whatever the name of it is, and guess we don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah. No.
Big announcement, right? Breaking news.
Breaking news. Yeah. We're not bundled up this week.
No bundles. You break free. All you have to do is have Apple TV, which is its own cost. Which we joked about.
I'm sure that's going up.
A little bit, probably. A little bit.
Yeah.
They could probably lower it and still make money. But so what about some easy questions? Favorite RSL memory, favorite RSL player?
Oh, it's hard to pick a player because I feel like in the world of soccer, you're not going to necessarily latch on to one player. That's kind of what I like about it, is you can really follow the club. And it's not exactly a favorite RSL moment, although they stacked the team with RSL players. I was at the championship that the Monarchs won. So we got to go out on the field and hold the trophy and take my picture and all that stuff. So that was
very cool.
That was pretty unique. I didn't know I should have. I wasn't with the big traveling party though. Should have snuck over into that. That was quite.
Where was that at? So I went to the game where the game before, which was here.
Yeah,
I think it was Louisville, if I remember right.
I think you're right.
That was 2019, just a few months before it hit the fan. So I believe it was Louisville made that little drive down. So
nice.
And you got to hold the trophy. And did you have to take it away from Deloy?
No, I had to wait my turn. I think he had left by the time I got my chance. So
he made sure he was first and broke all the rules.
Absolutely.
What are the rules?
Well, the players are supposed to hoist the trophy, not the owner.
Oh, he hoisted it.
Yeah, he hoisted it.
Really?
That was the straw. That was the straw that broke the camel's back right there. If you're gonna lift the USL, it was a USL Cup, right? USL trophy.
Yeah,
I'm the best owner in history.
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, I remember that Deloy. Good times. Good times.
I love that guy.
So no real player. What about? There's a lot of folks that have watched the club from the very start, and it's hard not to love the founding favorites of.
Oh yeah, you gotta love the Mount Rushmore guys.
But yeah, so what about
who's your Mount Rushmore?
Yeah, Mount Rushmore? Good question. Who's on your RSL Mount Rushmore?
Well, it's the fourth one's the hard one because everyone's gonna say Kyle, Javi, and Nick. It's the fourth one is the toss up. So,
well, who are the top three that you? There's got to be like two or three that you would put in there. So who's competing with
Kyle,
your
Javi,
number
and
4?
Nick are easy. The third, and he got a lot of grief, but I think hindsight, everyone would probably have to agree that the fourth should probably be Sabo.
Yeah,
nice. Leading scorer in RSL history.
I'm a huge Sabo fan. Is there anybody else? Any other players that? Kind of are competing with Sabo for you that someone could make an argument and say, this guy maybe beat out Sabo, because I think those are
Burrito Martinez,
Johnny Menendez.
Hey, that was a killer move by Elliot Fall. It may not have worked out, but what he was able to do to get that level of player with zero money, I don't think gets enough credit. Yeah, it didn't work out with the player, but
right, because he was just too soft. But
Tony or
no, I really was a fan of Andy Williams, but maybe part of that is his post-playing career probably contributed to that with the number of players he was able to identify and help bring in.
Yeah.
So he'd be up there, but not always for his on-the-field stuff.
Yeah. What about Zach McMath? Does he get on your...
What?
Brandt should know I will defend McMath, and he was a very good keeper. He always had some unfortunate situations, but the 2024 season, I think he gets maligned way too much because nobody wants to talk about that. At the beginning of the year, they decided that they wanted the keeper to play from the back, play out of the back, and that's not his game. Yeah. And they blame him for all these fumbles or whatever, but
they won't
have him playing his game.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't think he should get the blame for that.
Yeah, and he even did really well in the playoffs, and we were asking him after the game, we were like, Zach, what was it about? And that's exactly what he said. He was like, well, I stayed home, and they didn't play it back to me, and I was great with that, and we did great as a result. Yep. And I was like, yeah, there it is.
And
play to your own strengths.
They also this was really bothered me the whole season is they had Beavers. They were trying to wedge Beavers into,
and that was the best move of all. Back five, Beavers in the back. Beavers could be our top five.
No,
on RSL all-timers. No, I'm just kidding.
No, we wish.
No, but they kept rotating Beavers and McMath, and that could definitely.
It's like if you have two
psychological.
If you have two goalkeepers, you don't have one.
It's like having two quarterbacks, and
it just wouldn't work. I understand what they were trying to do, but that can't have helped McMath very much with his confidence because 23. What didn't he have the Iron Man? That was the season. He didn't miss a game, and he was really solid that season. And then they go and mess with his head trying to get the kid involved, and he did play well, but then the injury ended up kind of ending his career. He announced his retirement at the end of the season. So,
but Beavers, I was at his professional debut in Columbus.
Oh, nice.
So, met his family at a restaurant before the game. So
you are a mover and a shaker. You're surprising me. Tell us more, Andy. Who else have you met? Tell us more of these stories.
I ran into a trainer in Chicago, but he wouldn't give me his name or couldn't get any kind of info out of him.
Oh, really?
Maybe he wasn't supposed to be there.
Well, he was out shopping.
Was it a Coldplay concert?
Whoa! No, he was by himself.
Oh, no. Good.
He was shopping, so he didn't want his wife to know he was spending money.
Yeah.
She probably had
breaking the budget.
You probably had a notification like my wife, like, oh, what'd you buy? So let's talk about this team. What are your thoughts on Real Salt Lake 2025, 2026, this iteration of the club? You got to have some thoughts, Andy.
Some insights.
I don't have lots of insights, but I have a question about your guys' insight too, because Brandt knew about the contract extensions. Excuse me. They said multi-year. Is a multi-year a 1+1?
Yeah, I don't know that they have announced that. I think I've heard a rumor that like 2 years, so I don't know.
Are we talking about Jason or Pablo?
Pablo and Kurt?
And Kurt, yeah. Yeah, they did say multi-year, and then they never clarified. We even asked a follow-up question, and they still didn't clarify.
I'll tell you, I was talking to, we were talking to somebody, I don't know, it doesn't really matter, but I won't say it, but somebody that's around the team all the time. Maybe, talks about the team a lot. Maybe calls some games. Anyway, we were doing
give it away if you're not going to give it away.
Man, you talk to Denny a lot, huh?
No. yes, it was Brian Dunzed. No, it wasn't. But they were just talking about because we just kind of chat around, and he was mentioning that he heard that they were going to.
So it's fourth hand or third hand?
Second or third hand, but it's somebody that you trust.
So what'd they say?
They said that they were going to, it was already a done deal and they were going to renew them. They just didn't want to announce at the time. You know, the Millers had already decided. And I think somebody mentioned that the RSL show came out and said that the deal was done months ago. But it certainly looked like watching the game, especially after the Colorado game where the RSL coaches were just elated, hugging on the sideline after we lost the Rocky Mountain Cup, but we won the game.
Right.
They were just seemed like they were like a little too excited. Like if they seemed like there might have been something tied to it. Maybe if you make the playoffs, then
we'll extend it every year.
We'll extend or something. But
then they
coaches have
late goal in
contract
St.
triggers,
Louis.
huh?
Maybe that was kind of like, you guys make the playoffs, you definitely get an extension.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
So what are your thoughts on
Pablo as a
Pablo
coach?
and that you brought it up, Andy?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Pablo and Kurt?
Are they the answer?
I don't know about Kurt, but I think Pablo is a great coach to have in the system. I'm not sure he's your lead coach. I don't know if you want to use manager, head coach, but he does seem more of a manager than a coach. And I think he only gets you as far as your best player.
Yeah.
So when he had good players, they had pretty good results. Otherwise, they barely make the playoffs. And I think if you want RSL to go further than barely making the playoffs, you have to have a coach that gets more than the sum of the parts. And they haven't had that for a long time.
So is it a matter of giving opportunities to guys like Gozo, and then finally he just takes one and you're just like, boom, that kid can play, let's go. And then you just develop him from there, or is this like the everyday slog of practice? Because that's what most fans don't see. They don't see how people performed in practice. Yeah. And Pablo loves to put somebody in that performed well in practice and see what happens.
He says that, but does that hold true for the highest paid players?
No,
not in my mind. Not what I see.
Yeah, well, I've talked about it way too much probably, but the hypocrisy of it, that really started to rub me wrong this season of the best highest paid player not getting punished, or nothing more was expected of him other than to go out there, run around, cash your check. That's kind of what.
No, he was good. He was just only good for me. He was good in spurts. Like a third of the game, he was good. And I would say maybe even better than good. But, and that's what you want in your difference maker, is to step it up in those key moments. But, you can't disappear for 2/3 of the game.
Yeah.
And I don't think, just trying to stay on track with Pablo, not enough discussion about what happened last year. He said that he didn't know what happened with Chicho. He's allowed to stay captain. Like, there's just these things that happen that nobody really questions, at least publicly. And
we question them. It's just they're not answering them. You know what I mean?
Oh,
we're asking the questions, and they're like, "Well, we're not going to talk about that. Don't mention this tonight, guys." Kind of a thing. And we're like, "All right, well, don't want to piss them off. We won't get access to them next time." So,
but it's hard to imagine how you can keep the locker room with stuff like that. So
yeah, it was more than apparent that something was off the rails. Well, the team was off the rails after Chicho came back and leaving him to captain and all of that. The second half of last year was just painful to watch, really, even though they ended up in third place.
Yeah, it was so strange because we were so bad in the second half, and like you could see it, but they never addressed what it was. And I think that was a mistake in hindsight. But also, like, maybe legally they couldn't talk about certain parts of it.
Could be.
There should have been something, though, that came out that they said, here's the official company line, if you will.
Well, he was the highest paid player, so we know they get special treatment. I mean, look what they did this year, right? We can talk about this year. They took the team captain and just said, you know what? You're not the team captain anymore.
Well, I mean, they talked about wanting to maybe have Cabral be the captain, but they don't necessarily like that captain position being the keeper, which I think from
Keeper
a
captain.
game management perspective makes sense.
Yeah.
But I don't know how, unless the injury to Anelli was worse than we were being told, which wouldn't be the first time, that move didn't make a lot of sense either.
Yeah, in his exit interview, he kind of opened up about that, and he was like, "I wasn't injured. I was ready to go. They just didn't play me. They just told me my spot was going to be on the bench for the next few." And I was like, "Oh, bro, that's rough."
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
So before we leave the Pablo, we keep getting sidetracked.
Yeah.
That's what we're getting
Well,
at.
captaincy, that's important too.
Yeah.
I think the captaincy goes to Pablo, like, because that's his boy. You know what I mean?
So, would you have re-signed Pablo if you're in charge?
Probably not, but I'm trying not to get on too much of a tangent, but I don't know if you guys follow what Matt Doyle writes. So I try and pay attention to what the major commentators, writers are saying. Is one, what are you going to do necessarily on short notice? And if Luna leaves, Cruz's contract or loan isn't extended or bought, they will all of a sudden have a huge opportunity right after the World Cup to really remake the roster.
Yeah.
And if Pablo's on a option year for next year, it's probably a lot easier to get rid of him mid-season and go looking for coaches at that time as well. So it kind of makes sense. So
interesting though, right? Like for years it was okay, go with experience. That's why Bruce Arena keeps getting jobs, because he's been experienced, he's been around forever. He's won in the league. He hasn't wanted to move across the pond at all. He likes coaching American, right? Like he likes that. But he's really old. He's like 70 something at this point, right? Like at some point the young guard has to kind of step in. So you got Pat Noonan style, right? So they go young. So they're like they skip, 20 years of experienced coaches, and then they start young again. And then they find out that they're inexperienced and that they didn't connect well in the other parts of the game, and they didn't understand the full position. And I think that's what Cincinnati's going through right now with Pat Noonan. He's good, he's young, but man, he got outclassed coaching wise in that last game. He subbed at all the wrong times and put in all the wrong people at all the wrong times, and it just, they lost 4-0 to Miami, which Miami's a juggernaut. I get that. That's a whole different thing. But looking around the league and taking Wilfred Nancy out of it, who would you pick to become the coach?
I would try and go take advantage of what Vancouver's doing, because their team is up for sale. They don't have ownership, but I don't know why he would leave. But I think that was Jesper Sorensen was a great example of what you can find out in other leagues. Now, does it always work out? No, because look at St. Louis's coach. He lasted, 3-4 months?
Right.
And he was brought in from Norway or Sweden
somewhere.
So
their second coach.
In 2 years, 3 years.
Because their first coach, they had a really good St. Louis's first year. They had a really good season.
But remember, they played 1 year in the junior league, and then they played a year in the So
I would do that as well. I've been saying that probably too much as well, but I would go and find a coach from somewhere else, because I think the MLS pipeline for coaches, I think the game is getting away from them a little bit.
I don't know.
How
ready is Javi?
Boy, I don't know. And I would not be. I'll be honest. I don't think I'd be happy with Javi signing, or even a Kyle Beckerman, or a player like that. I just
like signing as head coach, or
signing as coach. Coming back to the team would be great, sure, but I think there's an opportunity. Like, I would go and find someone with more experience internationally and give that a shot, because
Mascherano is killing it in Miami, and he's Mascherano. He played with Messi. You know what I mean? Like, he's only a couple of years older than Messi, right?
Yeah,
So
but he's
try to get some of that.
trump card.
Right, yeah. But maybe try to get some of that South American flair into the league and bring Javi back home where he belongs and try to get that to bring some South American players in.
One, bring him back, but I mean, he's coached with Tata, coached with Mascherano. Like, is he ready to be head coach? I don't know, but I think he needs to be back here, back at RSL at some point soon.
Yeah, agree.
I don't disagree with that. He never should have left. But all right, so we're getting. What about your thoughts on the team? What went right? What went wrong in Andy's eyes this season with
What
RSL?
went right? Cabral. That was probably about it.
We got a keeper.
No, I mean, I think and I hope Jason's plan is to find a path to take, because I don't care if they want to try and go spend with Cincinnati or if they want to be the Ajax of MLS. Just pick a lane. I can support it if you can pick it and stick with it and hopefully show proof of concept within a couple years. So I think that's the biggest problem.
Yeah, they got all starry-eyed with the Gomez transfer, and since then they've been like, yeah, we're just going to be like that. We're going to go young, and then they had a narrative with Gozo, and then they were thinking, hey, let's bring in Azarkani, and then they're like, we're not winning. This sucks. And then they're like, oh, the new ownership wants to go in a different direction. Oh, okay, it's the ownership. Yeah, it's winning through development, winning and development. It's competing for cups and development. And so they have the tagline, that they like to say, and that's great. And like, let's do it, right? Let's make the playoffs and be consistent at that level and develop the kids so, we keep the pipeline coming. I think that ties the community to the team a lot better when a kid off the Monarchs gets first team playing time. And that's why I'm always such a huge fan of that. Like, I'm always touting the kids and loving that they get playing time. And, I think this Owen kid's going to be a player. Plus, I don't know if you watch the U16 level kids. They're coming up. They won their age cup too. So, a lot of talent in the pipeline coming in. So,
and I don't want to get too technical with it, but I mean, if you talk about the way they want to build the team, you get to pick the 3DP model or the 2DP model. And I think the 2DP, and you go 4 U22s and you get the extra GAM, is a great way to build the roster. You have young kids, you give them a chance. You can even go poach kids from other teams, trade for them, and pay them more than the Peel kid. Like, that guy shouldn't be with RSL.
Is that your least favorite player out there right now? Peel?
What's that?
Is Peel your least favorite player right now on the roster?
He's got to be up there. I just don't understand paying money for kids that are borderline. I say kids, but borderline
kids too.
players, and they need development in Monarchs or somewhere else. They shouldn't be on the RSL roster. Like, if I ever had a bunch of questions for Kurt, it would be, one, why don't we have the Monarchs signing these kids to $500,000 to $1 million transfers, and they get to develop? Look what Charlotte did with their second string forward after they sold that
that guy.
So, but that kid that was tearing up MLS was bought by their second league team, and it was like $1 million or something like that. And your U22 should be making the max they're allowed to. So don't aim low and pay somebody $300,000 a year. They should be more like the Ojeda signing, where they're 22 at the time of signing. They get a 4-year deal, and you lock him in to basically the most you can pay them till they're about 26. So, and then you sell these players. You take the GAM, and then you buy players within the league, or you sign key free agents to fill in the roles and the holes on your roster that maybe you just sold a kid and you don't have another one ready to take that spot. So I think it's a great way to go. You just have to commit and you got to be successful. And it sounds like they need to flesh out their talent development scouting department, but I think that model could work for RSL. But San Diego and Philly and a couple other clubs around the league are going to be trying to do that too. So
Yeah. Yeah. And we even got the kid from Philly,
Zambrano. And his brother's in the pipeline.
Yeah.
and Rocio was with Philly, I believe, too.
Who?
Diego Rocio.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Rocio.
Yep.
They signed him to a Monarchs deal with like a guaranteed RSL deal next year, and that was a big deal, like in June or something, May, and not really discussed since then. So I haven't seen him mentioned, but I thought he had a RSL deal for next year.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Hopefully we can get all those guys signed and Brandt and I will go to the stadium and interview them again. And they'll tell us their ambitions are to get first team playing time. And we'll tell them that that's great ambition. And we'll see them again at the next year.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what happened with Gozo, but he actually did it. And so did Hazarkani. But
Yeah, those were really interesting to go, and the preseason interview media stuff. We had a great time with that, and there was Gozo. You could tell there was something with Gozo.
Mm-hmm.
Like his head is on so straight. He lives at home, takes out the garbage. Hasn't got to him. And then there was a couple other players, one in particular, and just like
who's been let go now.
And it was just like, yeah, me and Tyler just like, I don't think he gets it.
No.
So it's interesting, but they're all kids. And I was wondering, what is the win percentage when it comes to the kids you assign? Even the best clubs, it can't be more than like 30%. I mean, the amount of kids that come through the academy and those that finally play for the first team, the numbers can't be incredibly high.
No, but then you sell them on too, right?
Sure.
So other clubs are interested in some of your guys, and hopefully that adds up, kind of like you were saying, Andy.
So what are your thoughts on the team this year? Come on, let it go.
I don't know how they're going to have. They don't have any roster room.
Yeah,
they have like maybe 3 senior roster spots, which is what you have to focus on. You can't worry about all these homegrown kids because they don't count towards the senior roster. They're on the supplemental, and those are easily loaned out, cut, whatever. They're usually not important contributing players. I mean, once in a while you get a Caliscan. I think Anelli was a supplemental roster his first year. So you get those guys for about a year, and when they break out, they're up on the senior roster. So
they got to pay them. Yeah.
Yeah. But so this offseason, they got to decide if they're going to bring back Junka or not. I still think he's a better center back than a left back, but it depends on how they're going to play. Which, they have an assistant coach position open. Is Pablo going to get a pick that assistant, or is it going to be picked for him like last time? So where do they go that route? Are they going to stick to this 4-2-3-1 with the hybrid left back and 2 attacking midfielders, or are they going to do something else? I don't know if Ruiz can stay healthy, but he's still one of my favorite players on the team right now, and I think he can be a weapon, but maybe he's too limited in what kind of systems he can play in. But I mean, he was basically MVP in what, 23 or 24?
Well, probably
team MVP.
No, it's probably 22 because he was injured all of last year and the season before, right?
He was injured late 23, I think, wasn't he?
It all blends together.
Because he played in the snow game against LAFC, and that's where he re-injured last season. So then, but yeah, he was out 2 full seasons. But I liked Ruiz too. I thought when he came in this season, it added something to the midfield, and RSL played well. It could have been the improvement, but it seemed like they played well, and then.
But it was a pretty easy streak there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but without that streak, they don't come close to the
playoffs.
Play-in.
Yeah, the play-in. Yeah, not the playoffs.
Not the playoffs. The play-in that they lost. Anyway, so yeah, I think Pablo brings a certain level there, but Yeah.
But
Yeah, you gotta have guys like that.
they have two DPs. They have four U22 players. They only have a couple senior roster spots, but I think they've got a bunch of GAM to work with. So we'll see what they try and do. But they need difference makers because of those six premium roster spots, only one of them was contributing. So,
Yeah.
and even then, it was, I don't know if teams were keying on Luna or what, but he'd had a very sharp decline in the second half of the season, at least production wise.
Yeah, we were kind of talking about that. Like it felt like he was trying to do too much at times, not connecting with his teammates as thoroughly as he was before.
But also, too, I think, like Andy was saying, the teams kind of figured him out or figured out Real Salt Lake. And if they put a little pressure and kept two or three guys around Luna, he didn't have anybody to help him, really. So it was a combination of things. But it did seem like there was something different with Diego after, his stint with the U.S. men's national team. But what about our other DP, Diogo? Thoughts on him?
I think he'd be a great third or fourth player. I think signing a guy from Europe who's never been the man clearly doesn't work out. Maybe that was just lesson learned, but he's got a guaranteed contract for 2026, and then after that, it's option years. So I think the Millers should buy him out to show that they're serious. That's one thing the Millers, when they own the Jazz, they spent money, they spent millions. And I was like, I think they went into the luxury tax 1 year, and the revenue in NBA is so much higher. It's easy to spend the millions of dollars to have a competitive roster. RSL, I think they stay out of the red, but I don't think they can go have $2 or $3 to $5 million a year DPs without going into the red. So I've said all along with this Miller ownership, I'll believe they'll spend the money when they actually do, because I don't think they will operate in the red. And I don't think they can generate the revenue to support it.
Yeah, and that's my concern. Before, the international guys, their contracts weren't guaranteed, so you could cut them at any time, and they were just out of luck, right? There was no recourse or anything. But now, a lot of them have guaranteed years built into their contract because they didn't want to come over to the States and have the team give up on them, right? So they've had more guarantees built in. I don't know if you know the contract status of Diogo.
I'm going off of memory because I posted on Big Soccer. MLS released, or Doyle had a link to this PDF that supposedly came out in like September showing teams' final roster status and who is on what premium slot and how much GAM they have left over and all that. And so I'm going, and whose contracts end when, which ones are option years. So, but I'm going off of memory that Diogo has a guaranteed contract for 26 and then options for 27 and 28.
Yeah,
and
I'm pretty sure that's correct.
Our first clue on the schedule change, sorry to slightly change the topic, should have been some of these contracts that
right. How are that going to work?
End in mid-year. Like Olatunji's deal ends in mid-28, June 28.
Yeah, so, it's like, wait, what? So
yeah,
proves all well, right?
He's got. I thought he had a weird loan deal.
His was 18 months.
Yeah,
so 12 months and 6 months.
Yes.
And the 6 months was the option?
Yes.
Okay.
But then you can purchase at any point in there. But
his purchase price is like 4, right?
4 or 5, I've heard. But that's all.
But he's nowhere near that, at least on effective.
Not that he's shown.
So yeah, exactly.
So, but again, back to what I thought of this year, I didn't understand all year and even last year, this game model only having one way to play. It sure seems like you need world beaters if you're only going to play one way, and to not have a backup plan didn't make any sense. And then this year we seem to shift away from that game model and go with a 2-forward system, but then didn't stick with it all the way through. And
Right.
Cruz,
Is it 4-2-3-1? Is it 4-2-2-2? Whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
And Cruz is a second forward, or 9.5 supposedly, which seems to
Or
work
is
better
that
with the 2-forward
Diogo?
system.
Or is he the wing, but not really a wing? He's an inside wing, and it's just like, are we trying to figure out what our players play best, or is it right?
Yeah. I'm a big fan of you got to make the most of what you have rather than trying to shove that square peg in a round hole, or however it's supposed to say it.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But,
I think my favorite part of the whole season was the 2 LAFC games.
Oh my gosh. Brandt was asking Pablo after the first one, what are you going to do differently? And when Pablo said, I think we're just going to run it back and we're going to do the same thing.
We're just going to play harder.
And then Brandt was like, well, don't you get the same result if you do the same thing? No, I think it's those moments are going to be different moments.
Yeah, universe.
They're going to be different moments in the universe. And nope, they were the exact same moments. We scored a banger and they scored 4.
Yeah.
Basically the same game.
Gave up hat-tricks, that's what we do.
I think RSL had like the lowest XG per shot of all the teams, and that seems fitting based on the way they played. I mean, the defense was decent, but the goal scoring wasn't near what it needs to be to be a competitive playoff team.
No, we gave up 42 goals when we lost. Chicho, Matt Crooks, my boy.
Give me we gave up 42
We
goals.
gave up those 42 goals and we only scored 38. So.
We gave up 5 key players in our attack. That's what happened. Crooks, Chicho, Anderson, Julio, Gomez. Like, those 4 guys just decimated our attack, and you didn't replace them with like for like at all.
I really had high hopes for Forster Jago.
I had high hopes for Manuel.
For who?
Elias Manuel.
Oh, yeah. Mr. I don't want to come here.
Never showed up, yeah.
But they made money on him.
Sure.
Did they? They sold him on?
Yeah. So,
okay. Well, that's not nothing.
No, you just had to go play a Jago.
Right.
So, what would you like to see him play? Is it if you're in charge, Andy? What formation? What does RSL play? What would you like to see? Maybe with this roster or any roster?
Is there a soccer term for armchair quarterback?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah,
let's
do that.
I don't know what that term is, but I kind of floated the idea of is it the Christmas tree, a 4-3-2-1?
Yeah. Minnesota plays the Christmas tree.
But I like the idea of outside backs that can get high, almost like a wing back and a back 4. And then you can have your defensive midfield with Ruiz playmaking from deep. And then you can have your 2 AMs that Pablo wants to play. And so that could be a different DP or Luna or Gonçalves. And then your single forward. And so then your outside backs provide your width, and then you don't get beat up the middle. You got another midfielder there. That was a problem with defense all this year. So that's what makes sense to me, and I think we have the players to do that. I'm not convinced that Glad and Vera are the combo going forward. I think Glad is a good player, but I don't think he's worth a near max TAM deal. At this point, hasn't proven it, at least year in, year out. And but then there's rumors of Vera potentially leaving, and I've heard Catranis might be on the way out. Just listen to other podcasts and stuff. So I don't know, but I do like Junka, and I think they should bring him back. But I think he might be a better center back.
Yeah, and if that's the center back pairing, like if those 3 don't end up here at the end of the year, it's Philip Quinton, and Glad,
which I like. He needed more minutes.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he could have been a lot better, and we could have brought him along a lot more effectively this year than we did.
Yeah. I would not bring back Brown.
No.
Unless he wants like a senior minimum deal.
Right.
Seems unlikely. But,
yeah, I thought there would have been more cuts this year, honestly. Fewer guys brought back, fewer exercise contracts, but
I think they would have had to buy people out.
no, I mean the guys that were at the end of their contract and they exercised them for next year.
Who did they exercise that you didn't like?
Shoot, I don't have the list in front of me, but yeah, I don't.
I was a little surprised they did Quentin. He didn't play much. He was one of the options that they picked up. They only had 4 or 5 that they could pick up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it wasn't a ton they could pick up.
I thought most of them made sense.
yeah. Maybe you were looking at the numbers and I was just going off my heart.
Oh, that's fair. Sorry, I like
No,
numbers.
that's good. That's probably fair, But yeah, and a lot of the guys that were let go were guys that never really made the field anyway.
And they were supplemental roster and kind of they're not the ones you should be paying attention to when you're trying to build the roster because they don't have
Jude
the salary
Welling,
budget.
Stuff like that.
Farnsworth,
Yeah. The Jude Welling surprised me because I thought he was going to be a player, but
yeah, I think
if you guys could find out what happened there.
I think Luka Moisa took over his spot.
Oh, okay.
I think Luka's played better, and kind of by the end of the season, they were like, no, Luka's above him at this point.
Okay.
At least going to practice and seeing the way they practiced and the way they used him, he kind of took that spot, and he wasn't even at practice a lot of the time. So
So Matthew Bell was a draft pick. He didn't get renewed. He's not with the
injury,
team.
Though, right?
He was injured for a good part of the season. Yeah.
Kirk Liet, Mosquera.
Mosquera?
No, Kevin Lambert.
Below that line. Mosquera's Portland.
Oh, yeah. Kevin Lambert. He was one that
Kevin Lambert never really cut on.
Surprised he was the top defender in the USL and he couldn't make it with RSL.
Or was that just a bearer of things to come under Kurt?
Perhaps. Yeah. Tommy Silva, he got cut too. Yeah,
that surprised me.
Yeah, because they were high on him for a while and then he just disappeared. Never really got games, and Katranis took over his spot.
So yeah, there wasn't a lot to choose from, but
yeah, and maybe Tyler Wolf has a good year in him somewhere here. They could have probably let him go too, but maybe they like him.
I can't remember
with everybody, but he's had almost no results.
Yeah, was he an option or did he have a guaranteed deal? But I mean, he's a supplemental roster player, so
yeah.
But they should give him minutes if you're not going to play Johnny Russell. Play him.
Yeah, what did you think of Johnny Russell?
I'm agreeing with you. I think he should have got about double the minutes he did. So otherwise, why bring him in? But my question was, why not bring him in January? Why wait?
Right. Exactly. He was a free agent.
Yep.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, lesson learned.
Or just play the kids and say, hey, this is what we're stuck with.
Yeah.
And
pick a lane.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the decisive, not the, let's ship off a guy to Cincinnati. Didn't love that move for Mark Chuk.
It had to have been part of the deal for Yedlin, right?
I guess.
Unofficially.
Yeah.
Probably.
Wink, wink. Nod.
So what do you think of the Yedlin move?
On the whole, I don't mind it if he's one of your few vets that you feel like you need to fill in the holes of the roster. But they don't really have a right back, so I don't necessarily mind it. But it also depends on what they're paying him, too. Hopefully it's not anywhere near $1 million a year. But he's not the player he used to be.
Yeah, but I still think he's got something in him, and I think he wants to be here, and I think that he's got a name, so it could encourage other players to want to come here because, hey, DeAndre's here and DeAndre's killing it.
Maybe. And I think if they want these advanced outside backs, I think it'll work. So it's not the worst move. It's just, does it end up being an overpay or good value is kind of probably what decides it. So
we can't thank you enough. We're getting late. I know it's late where you're at.
It is.
And we don't
work in the morning and then I got to travel.
Oh, dang. Sorry. Well, thanks for staying on with us a little while.
We
Yeah, no,
absolutely
thanks, guys.
appreciate it. We love talking to Real Salt Lake fans. So maybe we'll just let you. What are the things you love about being an RSL fan, and what are you excited about next season? What's going to make you excited for next season? We'll let you kind of finish off.
I just enjoy being able to see the road games and check out the team now and then. It's hard to beat a live soccer match, but there's never a dull moment between the ownership changes and those kinds of things. Hoping for a little stability there. Too? But no, it's limited free time, and so I try to choose to spend it and follow RSL, and I like following the roster mechanisms and the league's evolving. So with the new schedule format and stuff, it'll definitely keep it interesting.
So there we go. You're our new correspondent for roster moves. What do you think?
Oh,
yeah. You think you can take that title?
Yeah, because
we need to break down the roster. Like I used to be like early MLS 1.0. I was into the roster and the numbers and all that. And this guy can't be that roster spot. And they keep evolving it over the years. So I kind of just let that go. But you could be our new correspondent for that. What do you think, Andy?
Hey, I'll send Brandt a text message or something.
Yeah, please do.
We'll start there. How about that?
What about your thoughts on the new schedule, the MLS schedule, new MLS schedule going to the international?
It's easier for me to say it's okay because I'm not buying tickets out in Utah when it's in November and December and February. But I think on the whole, it'll be a positive for the league. I'm not sure it's going to be a positive for RSL with the schedule. They're going to miss out on a lot of home games in the summer. Yeah. But I think it's a great opportunity for RSL to go to the league and say, hey, pack our July and August schedule with home games. We get the fans. We got great weather. Let's go that route. The playoffs, they had to do it for the playoffs. I mean, you look at the format every year. You got to have good fields, good weather, uninterrupted without the international breaks.
So your cup is in December every year, and right? That makes for a crappy Kansas City, Minnesota, Salt Lake, Denver. All those cities are toast in that time.
So I hope the league helps out these northern climates with heated fields, or they got to do something for the fans. I think they're going to lose attendance. I don't know if the games were going to be any better viewed in that October, November, December, February timeframe. But for the playoffs, I think it's worth it. I think for transfers, it's going to be worth it. It's just, I think RSL might be marginalized when it comes to attracting talent from overseas. Miami, Texas, California, all those teams are going to have more of an advantage than they already do with this schedule format. So even more imperative for RSL to pick a lane with how they want to build the club and go forward.
Good point.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Andy, for joining us and being a random fan. We really appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.
See ya.